The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the importance of a good handshake in a business interaction. The handshakes might not seem like that big of a deal. We all know how to do it. But if you think about it in the context of a first impression that you're making on a potential employer, they're using it to determine two things about you. The first is your level of confidence. If you can shake hands like a professional business person who has some level of experience, what you're telling the employer is that you either actually do have experience or, at the very least, you've been trained in how to behave in a professional work environment. The second is a handshake is a measure of your confidence and, in some ways, your communication style. You want to come across as confident and assertive as opposed to passive or aggressive. So let's talk about some tips and techniques to make it seem like you have been shaking hands in the professional work world for a very long time. The first thing you want to think about is this web in your hand between your thumb and your pointer finger. This is sort of the setup or the guide to make sure that the rest of your handshake runs smoothly. You want to, first of all, make this part of your hand press against the part of the person with whom you're shaking hands. So you want to get right in there, and it feels a little weird at first, but it'll happen so fast in a natural handshake that you probably won't even notice. And then you're going to wrap your hands around. You want to find a nice balance between holding or gripping without squeezing. You're not trying to show aggression, just confidence. The final thing is the number of times you move up and down. A lot of this is going to be determined by the person you're shaking hands with. If I go in to shake and they're smiling and talking, sometimes it can linger a little bit long. But if they seem to be letting you take the lead, you don't want to go up and down any more than 2 or 3 times. So let's take a look at a couple of handshakes. The first is what I call the princess shake, where you sort of grab the tips of the person's fingers. This is a perfect indication of passivity. It's a way that someone shows they don't feel confident with their own business sense, and they don't feel confident interacting with other people. These are often accompanied by little shakes, which again shows a level of passivity. The aggressive handshake tends to get in. Sometimes it comes with a cup underneath, which is a really strong marker of I'm trying to show that I'm in control in a business sense. And then usually pretty vigorous shaking, and for some reason sometimes loud talking, which is funny. So the best handshake comes right in, firm grip, nice and solid, and then a release. 2 more things I want you to think about. One is, remember that this is sort of the standard in American business, and you'll probably be dealing with people with a lot of different cultural backgrounds, so it's important always to let them take the lead. If something doesn't feel right, you need to be paying attention to their body language and the signals that they're sending you so that you're matching their comfort level as well. The second thing is that all of these tips don't mean anything if you don't practice. It could take you several tries to get to a point where you feel comfortable shaking hands, saying your name, making eye contact. So start shaking hands with as many people as you can.